Okay, let's take a look at the upper right-hand corner, more importantly, where the help and the settings are. The help is pretty easy. If there's ever a need for help or training, they have buttons here that can open up various help articles. Also, if you ever want training, they have a Gmail training and help section that has a ton of resources. Specifically for us, one thing I want you to look at is the settings. Most people never click this button, they never know it's there. Um, I've used it to try and help make myself a set of settings that make my day easier. So, first, when you click this now, instead of it getting into the really cumbersome settings, this is the basic settings. Once you look at the basic settings, you'll see this button to see all settings. That's the more complex. We'll go into that in a little bit. Down here, what apps are we going to be using? When you hit customize, you'll notice we don't have Google Chat. We don't use that as an option, but we do have Google Meet. So that is why on mine, you see Mail and Meet right here. So I can get to Meet right out of the Mail app. So that's that section. The density, this basically is how much visual space do you want in your inbox. So I use default. Some people like comfortable. You'll notice that the difference between comfortable and default is essentially you do or you don't see that there's an attachment. So comfortable just gets rid of that. Compact, it means everything gets really tight. Now for me, that's too tight. I have a hard time reading that, but for some people, they really like it and it helps them visually. Themes. You can choose from a litany of different themes. Basically, themes just turn in a background for you to look at. Um, it's really up to you what you want to do there. If you press view all, you can see that there are tons of different themes you can get. High contrast themes like this one, some people really like because it helps them read their inbox. And again, the reason we're going through that is you're going to use your email a lot during the day and a lot during your career. And if you can make it as pleasurable as an experience as you can while you're doing the monotony of reading through your email, I think that's an important thing. So the next thing is inbox type. I think I mentioned that in a previous video, but the most important part here is you want to choose what you want it to look like. I use the default because I just like the simplicity of it. I like that everything's in order by date and time. But again, some people prefer, separated inboxes. Now, for me, the reason why I prefer this default one is I separate my inbox by taking things over to labels to clean up my inbox. Other people might be using this to organize their inbox into sections of their inbox. But for me, it just works better to go to labels. But for you, it might work better in some other option. Now, reading pane. You can get a reading pane. I don't use a split reading pane. But if you like a reading pane, so I'm going to turn it on right on the inbox. If it'll reload my inbox here. And now what happens is my inbox gets squished to the middle. And when I click it, it reads over here. Some people really like this option because they like the fact that they can click on an email, still see their inbox, and read at the same time. For me, I have that off. So mine looks like this, where when I click on an email like this, it takes over the entire space. And then I have to press the back button to go back to the inbox. That's just my preference versus yours. Totally up to you. One that I really think, and by default, I think you're going to be on this, but you can turn it off. And I think you should really consider, if you have it off, turning it on, and that's conversation view. If you turn off conversation view, and like you'll see in this thread here, there's 6 different emails in that thread. There's 6 different emails in that thread. By having conversation view, every single reply within the same thread just shows up as one line. So this is one conversation. If I take conversation view off, I would end up with 7 emails, all talking about the same thing, all from the same thing. Like there just became a new email here. Now there's 7, right? So if I have conversation view off, this would all be unthreaded, and it would be 8 emails about the same thing, all from different people, and I would have to keep track of who said what and when they said it. By doing conversation view, it threads everything into a single line conversation. So that is the basic set of settings, and I will take you through the longer set of settings in the next video.